Good morning, everyone, and welcome to YGC 10 Explore series. So as part of YAL Geek Challenge Season 10, we have organized this Explore webinar series in order to identify problems and opportunities in different fields. So we initiated this session with exploring the opportunities in agrotech. And today we are here to look at the possible opportunities and the problems that needs to be solved in the green tech space. So we have two speakers here with us today, Ramesh Balachandran, engineer at SLT and an eco enthusiast. And we also have Mila Alexandra Rajendran, CEO of Sensagro and climate ambassador from Sri Lanka for the World Bank Group. So without taking much of your time, let me invite our speakers to take over and continue the session. Ramesh and Mila, over to you.
Thank you, Abarna. Good morning to all of you. Let me share my slide. Yeah. Can you see the slides?
Yes, it's visible.
All right. Okay. Okay. Good morning. So this is about green technology. So let me tell you why we need green technology nowadays. Because we have, as a human, we have been thinking like we are the top of the lives, and we use every resource on earth as we like to use, and we spoil our natural resources. So now only the world experience the bad thing what we did for the earth and the environment. So now the people are realizing we are part of the earth and we need to protect the earth, and we need to reverse the damage what we have done to the earth and the environment. So that is where the green technology is important for us to do the actually it's mitigate and reverse the effect of human activity on the environment. So we are now responsible to make the earth better for all the life on the earth, and we need to protect our environment. So that is where we need to have proper technology use, and in everyday life we have to have a proper mechanism to protect our earth and do our day-to-day life. So when we take the green technology, how we can apply this in our area. So I listed out a few areas where we can come up with solutions to make the earth and our environment better while we are living and satisfying our needs. First one, this energy production. In energy production, we have, and the second one, waste management. These are the segments where we damage our environment and our surroundings, and we, as you know, the carbon effect, carbon dioxide effect, and global warming is very challenging these days. Every organization thinking about the carbon neutral, how to neutralize this carbon emission, how to reduce the global warming. So these are the areas we can find a lot of problems, so that we can come up with a lot of solutions or a lot of technological solutions. So if we take the energy production, we have been using conventional powers, and we are using coal, nuclear, oil, and natural gas. These are the items especially damaging our environment. So now the world moving for the renewable energy, green, like wind, solar, and biomass, biogas. So we have a lot of opportunity for the solutions, green tech solution. We can have many kind of solution, even from the production of the material like solar panels or solar wind turbines, and providing service to the users, and managing the service and monitoring the service. So every stage we have a lot of opportunities to come up with a solution. For example, there are in many countries there are problem. Even we have a solar and wind, how we going to manage the grid network? So the electricity grid network is meant to supply for the diesel powered and hydropower electricity. But nowadays the solar and wind, we have intermittents, and it's not a it is a variable energy source. So there's a problem in the grid. So it's called, now they are coming up with the smart grid solutions. So how we going to monitor the grid, and how we going to manage the variable energy, electricity source from this wind and solar. So for this we need a lot of many solutions nowadays. In US they are using blockchain to monitor and deliver the electricity through the grid. Like that, there are advanced and very intelligent AI supported smart grid solutions needed to make use of this renewable energy. Like that, the biogas. So how we can produce, let's say we can produce a biogas at home or some farms, how we going to deliver it? So there should be some solution, and some entrepreneur need to come up with some suitable solution, how we can deliver those to the customer. So these are the opportunities we have in energy production section, and how we going to get the payments for these variable energy sources. So this is one type of green technology solution. So the second one I like to show here, waste management. So in the waste management, we are, all you know, we are producing plenty of waste. Nowadays, every country is having a lot of trouble how to dispose the waste. Even recently, I saw that America usually send all the waste to China and ASEAN countries, but now they are returning those waste because they can't recycle it. So there's a problem through the waste. We have to solve the waste problem, and how we going to solve? For example, how every person or every home or every institute, how they can reduce their waste. So to that, we need to monitor those waste. We need to measure the waste, how we can reduce the waste. So we need to analyze, we need to capture those data, we need to manage those data, and we need to come up with a solution. So that means we need to audit the waste, and it is now going to be difficult for every production companies. They should know how much waste they are producing, even how much carbon dioxide they are emitting to the air, how much plastic waste or how much reusable waste they are delivering. So to monitor and those to measure those things, we don't have a proper solutions. So these are the ideas. You can come up with a good solution with the IT enabled, or other than IT enabled, you can come up with suitable solution. Other thing is how we going to remove the waste, and whether we can recycle or we can dispose it or we have to reuse it. So there should be a way for manage those waste in any way. We have to do it. We can't just throw the waste in our environment in a day. Other than that, I came to know that European Union going to place a rule that every product coming to European Union has to have the carbon what do you call it? It's a how much the carbon that produce when we product that product, how much the carbon is emitted. So we need to have a carbon label on the product label. So these are the things we still don't know how to do that. And now in future, in 1 or 2 years, there will be a tax coming for carbon tax for each product. So if we are producing one packet of food and how much carbon we are producing it, and they will do the tax. So we need to think how we can reduce those carbons while we are doing production. So these are the global problem. We have to find a solution in the waste management sector, and how we going to treat the waste. And those are the things are in the waste management sector. We have to find those solutions. It can be AI related, IoT related, or even non-IT, and we have to have this kind of solution. And the waste management, another thing is there is a need to educate the public about the waste and how they can reduce the waste. So that also we need a proper solution to address those problems. Next one is I am taking here is a green building. So in the building, every building should be a sustainable green building in future. So that means we have to efficiently use the water, electricity, and the material we use for the building should be a recyclable or something like reusable, eco-friendly material. So for that, we have to identify those material, and we should be able to use that material for the building and construction sector. Even the material or even the furnitures we are using inside should be recyclable. Now everyone know we have a lot of plastic shards, and a lot of those plastic shards end up within the landfilling. So it will affect the environment. So we have to, everyone should should get the knowledge of what are the waste we are using and what are the product we are using, is whether these are the eco-friendly. And so those kind of problems, we need a proper solution. Something like, for example, how much energy for one building we are using. So how we going to monitor how much energy we are using it? So there should be a way to monitor the energy used in the buildings, or how much water used in the building, and whether we can recycle those waters. So those are the problems. It's a burning problem around the world. So we have to have a solution. So here you can get some idea and you can come up with a proper solution, the business viability, so you can have a good business out of it. So the next one is like it's also kind of a green building concept, but it's like smart household. You know, every household nowadays there are electronics and there are appliances and there are security systems. So these are the items. How we going to manage it? There are smart solutions, smart home solutions available in the market, but you can there are a lot of room for come up with a new model, new business model, or new idea. for the smart home solutions. And how we going to reduce our carbon from the big use of our vehicles. You can, there are a lot of electric cars coming these days. Okay, so if it is, let me tell you, like it may be a difficult for come up with the electric car product for people like us. So, but how can we do charging points for the electric cars, and how can we recycle those car batteries? So how can we build charging networks around the country? And there may be alternative solutions. Say we can offer car-free day like bicycles to make, or some of the country nowadays declared their town, city, you can't bring the car there, so you have to use bicycles. So these are the solutions. These are the opportunities for the good solution and good service solution, service related solution. You can come up with the eco-friendly vehicle or eco-friendly transportations. There are coming up with the cars with the hydrogen powers. Okay, if the Toyota is coming with Toyota already delivered hydrogen power car, but how are we going to run this hydrogen power car in our country? So there should be there's another supply chain business available. How we provide the hydrogen, how we generate the hydrogen. So there are a lot of opportunities in this segment. We can have a good business model, and we can start with a small. This is, I am telling here because these are the new things, and there are a lot of opportunities. You can start small and you can scale it up later, because everywhere that is what happening now. So, and they say there are some disadvantage of green tech, like high R&D cost, high implementation cost, like green technology is still quite immature technique. Like that, there are a lot of disadvantage some people mention here. But what I see is, I see these all are opportunities. Every problem here, every disadvantage, you come up with a solution. So you can even come up with a solution to mitigate this disadvantage. So in the green tech, as it is a new thing in the world, we have a lot of opportunities to bring the come up with a solution, smart solution and smart business model, and it will help you to grow, start small and grow big. So these are some of the examples I found on the internet, like green tech solution in the green tech segment. So Emitwise is a SaaS company, help business track and reduce carbon emission across their operation and supply chain. So this company product is like how we going to track our carbon emission while we are producing products. And Climate Service is one of the company that working embed climate risk and global decision making and help investors and corporation move from business as usual to action. Right, that also giving a service to the companies and other entities, so they can understand the climate examples. Right, that Gridwire is a product provider grid monitoring system. This is what I earlier said, that grid monitoring system of sensors and software for the product distribution grid, power distribution grid. The system centers around the low cost hardware platform that is easily permanently deploy power poles. So what they do is they put the sensors and monitor, and they real time they give a detail for the power control, that grid control stations, so they can decide whether this variable renewable energy, how it's variable, and how they can mitigate that variables, or that like sunlight, when the cloud is coming, solar power is going down, so they can come inject other electricity source from other resources. Then AMP Robotics, that is a robotic technology company that technology challenge and recycle problems. So there are few companies like this. Not only few, there are many companies you can find around the world. So those are the ideas. You can come up with an innovative or new business model, and you can have a good future sustainable business model with the idea in the green tech area. So that is what I have. And if you have any questions, and maybe later we can, after Miller's presentation, we can do that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Ramashana. It's a great presentation. So, hello everyone, good morning. It's a great pleasure to meet you all. So today, guys, joining in for the Green Tech Accelerator, Green Tech earlier startup, and how you start and what kind of opportunities you have. So we will brainstorm that in the next 20 minutes. So thanks to Rameshana, we have plenty of examples where you can think through or what kind of areas you can work out in green tech environment. So I just want to highlight few areas, how you see the opportunities, and what kind of strategies you need to make in terms of running a green tech startup, and why it's important, and what's the scale of the green tech ecosystem, and what are the opportunities you have, and so on. So being a green tech entrepreneur, it's all about pride. More than making revenue, making money, there are plenty of satisfaction you will have, where you feel like you are doing something, where you get some value which is globally accepted, and globally you have making some impact. So first of all, so for next 8 years, green tech is one of the important sector where it retrieve plenty of attention towards investments and requirements and opportunities. So in usual cases of startup presentation, you probably present to many people, and your market space will be in Sri Lanka, we have 10 million people who are using computers. We have a solution for them. Or we have 11 million SIMs, mobile SIMs used, which is more than our basic population numbers, the mature population number. So we have an application every single mobile user will use. So everything is restricted to your market size, which is you're mentioning about the Sri Lankan context. But if you are getting to green tech, you don't want to stick yourself, or you don't want to restrict yourself into a Sri Lankan context. Whatever the solution you are giving to solve a problem within the green tech environment or ecological environment, which will create an impact throughout the world. So the entire world, the entire globe, it's your marketplace. So that's point you need to think from day one. So you're giving a solution which can be replicatable around the world, at least for 190 countries, which is signed the Paris Agreement very recently. So as a green tech entrepreneur, you're supposed to understand what is mean by green technologies. So there are plenty of difference between impact and sustainability startups and green tech startups. So being a social entrepreneur, you probably get to know empowering woman gender equality, and empowering social sustainability, per capita income improvement, and many things. So green tech is a very niche market. It's think about global warming, climate change, land restoration, and ocean cleaning process. So it's basically an ecology and ecosystem, and what kind of solution you need to improve that particular productivity. Or saving your world. So that kind of a scenario. So it's, as I mentioned, it's a global concept at the moment. So you need to think global. Any solution around the world could be applied to your thing also, your country as well. So this opportunity, it's not common for all the sectors. You can become an entrepreneur, not the exact same for an e-commerce platform. Your e-commerce behavior for Sri Lanka is different, USA it's different, India is different. But if you come into a play where you are part of a green tech entrepreneurship, your solution could be global. It could be a solution for the entire world because the problem was impacting the entire world. Recently, probably get to know, 2 years back, during the Diwali season, where India, as a large country, they just put all the firecrackers at the same time period because we are in the same timeline, right? So they put all the firecrackers on the same time. Within a week period, Sri Lanka was filled with pollution index reached up to 200%. It's happened simply because someone, another neighboring country, doing an impact, doing some ecological damage. Within 2 days, that's reached your country, and the entire Colombo to Jaffna, the entire region was moved. So this happens very often throughout the world. In Arctic, because of the global warming, the ice is melting, and Maldives will be the first victim. It's going down. So it's happening throughout the world. It's all connected to one another. So there's opportunities and negativity. Obviously, as a citizen of a country which is not contributing to the global impact, global warming much, but we are part of it at the moment. So at the same time, it's open up bigger opportunities where if you are coming from wherever you are coming from, doesn't matter you are coming from Sri Lanka or from a rural environment, if you have a solution that could be global. Even YAL ITF, it's an example for it. Couple of years back, YAL ITF winner was a green tech entrepreneur. That project goes globally. So that impact, that shows a rural place in Jaffna, Sri Lanka, in a small point, a solution comes to an accelerator, a local accelerator, and it was presented in MIT. So that's the important part in the chain that's connecting the green tech world. So you're supposed to understand you are part of a domain which is not restricted to your island mentality or not surrounded by your oceans. It's a global point. So first of all, you need to realize that. Second thing, uh, the way we measure an impact or a green tech startup, it's a little bit different than a normal startup. So normal startups, usually the valuation or the value of the company, value of the employees, the growth and the sustainability, it mostly depend on the key drivers of financial aspect. But in green tech, it has equal value for the financial sustainability at the same time for the impact you are creating in the global point of view. How many tons of carbon emission you are reduced through your process? How many tons of carbon emissions was traced or audited through your software platform or the technology platform or whatever the mechanism you use? Or how many tons of plastic waste was collected through your ocean floor? So those are making different value addition to the green tech. It's an advantage for a green tech startups alone will have a competitive advantage over other startups around. So if your company evaluated for a certain amount of price point based on your financial aspect, there is an impact aspect that is adding on top of it, which take you to different places, introduce to different opportunities and business values, and open up different avenues to explore. So that's an added value. So, but except for that parameter, except for that impact measurement, there is no other difference of a normal startup and a green tech startup. We supposed to understand that very, very clearly. End of the day, you and your family and your colleagues need to eat, right? So except for the impact measurements you have, except for the creation of impact you're creating in the global warming ecosystem, your startup also need to survive, need to sustain, need to earn a business model, need to earn money to sustain your business. So you will be fit into exact same startup disciplines of other startup ecosystem. At the same time, you have a different measurements to make sure you are a social entrepreneur. That's the impact what we are creating. So the way we measure startup, it's completely on your market size. As I said, it's a global point of view and business model. So green tech has a fantastic use case. You have all the business model. You can work with B2B environments where you become your CSR partnership with large corporates, or you can become a B2B individual, B2C individuals. For example, Amazon have its own pledge-based program where you can hire a sustainable packaging mechanism where you can pay extra for it. So they will come up with zero wasted environment, storage facilities, and they deliver with eco-friendly materials to your home. So that kind of a chain reaction can be happen in the commercial world also. So creating impact on that aspect, it could be uh, part of your business model. But for green tech, we have different avenues also. Along with the common conventional business model, B2B, B2C, or distribution-based business channels, and so on, you have a different mechanism where you're eligible for accessing huge amount of grants, which is pouring money for the next 8 years. That's the era. So for give you a small glimpse on the opportunities, you have grants and investment coming from global aspect. To giving an input, I can go through some few numbers. But you're supposed to understand where is money coming from. If you want to take a business model on the part of grants and opportunity of impact-oriented investments. So basically, these investment coming from people who make real damage for the ecosystem, companies who making silicons, companies who making fossil fuel. So these are organizations for compensating their impact, what they created in the global warming aspect. They compensate that with investment towards organizations who try to fix those mispractices what they do. So it's not a small market. So you're supposed to understand how Tesla become $1 trillion company, because it's not something you're making like 1,000 rupees as a grant and so on. It's $1 trillion market. You have a living proof Tesla, which is alternate for the existing fossil fuel based electric vehicle industry. He fixed those issues, and that market goes more than $1 trillion. So that's the opportunity you're also focusing on. So there's a huge potential market. I just want to throw up few numbers if you want to capture the potential of this ecosystem. First of all, recently the Paris Agreement. You, as green tech entrepreneurs or social entrepreneurs, you're supposed to understand two things. One, what happens on the climate agreement, Paris Agreement recently. Second thing, UN's Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. So that will open up and that will classify all your startups will fall into one of those 17 categories of SDG, and it will comes into align with one of the program and thousands of initiative every single company country doing at the moment to being part of the Paris Agreement. So the Paris Agreement was written, signed up with 187 countries, leaders signed up. So their highest priority is very, very simple. Bring down the temperature increment, the global warming to 2 degrees Celsius. So it's skyrocketing at the moment, 4%, 4 degrees Celsius. Recently, Canada has its lifetime drought and serious weather, 40 degrees Celsius in Canada. It's unimaginably the climate change happening drastic at the moment. So these countries being part of this program, they are willing to invest billions of dollars. Being honest, every year $100 billion, every single country going to invest on this. Totally, $100 billion. So this initiative took by all the countries who participated there. So every single country has its own national program to overcome these issues. And the one metrics that they're all planning on is just to bring down the global warming into 2 degrees Celsius. So we have an extended time period where we can work out something to extend the life form of the world until we prepare for the global warming. That's all we're going to make. So trillions of dollars we are pouring for mistakes what we already did. So the people who made the mistake now paying for you to fix those issues and charter ready to pay you money to sustain the business model and work around to fix those issues what they made early on. That's the honest truth here. So these 187 countries signed up to regenerate already degraded 127 million hectares of land space due to residue, due to runoff, monoculture practices, huge chemical usages and spraying mechanisms. So if you're planning on residue industry, regenerating soil, improving the biodiversity, land restoration, protecting the life chain of the land area, come up with alternative fertilizer mechanism, come up with alternative microbiome mechanisms which can regenerate the soil carbon content and reduce the effect of chemical usages on the soil, you have an opportunity for 127 million hectares of land space. So that's just in Africa and Latin America alone, I'm just talking about. Because if you focus on Sri Lanka or India or the South Asian continent and Southeast Asia, the agriculture space, almost all the land resources are utilized. So only new land generations available in Africa and Latin America. So the world is focusing on that ecosystem at the moment. If you focus on agriculture residue changes or improving something on land and the biodiversity, you have an opportunity for next 8 years until 2030. Investment comes towards improving the land degradation from 127 million hectares. So that's a already signed application. If you have a solution, you can simply plug in if you know where to pitch for that. So I will explain what are the places you can present to it in another few minutes. So one of the examples Rameshana already showed you, the green city and ecologically sustained cities, smart cities with green involvement, reducing your small activities and practices and adaptation make a huge change. 400 plus cities are targeted at this moment to cut urban emission into half. Urban emissions comes from vehicles, coming from industrial aspect, coming from your household usages, and multiple aspects of it. So all those urban carbon emissions are making a huge impact globally. So these urban cities, there are 400 cities already signed up. We are going towards a green format. There are plenty of cities in India, even I think Colombo and Jaffna makes some initiation. But globally, there are already signed up global cities 400 signed for this carbon emission reduced by half of current scenarios. All the statistic I'm talking about is just going to happen within these 8 years. So you are on the right time, right place. Next thing is the important thing. Energy is the largest sector, as Rameshana told you. So there are multiple ways you can come up with energy. More efficient batteries, battery management systems if you're on technology side, or solar panels, wind turbines, or geothermal activities. So multiple opportunities on energy production. Bringing energy to the rural end with less cost and having a sustainable model to generate this energy, you have $1 trillion business model there. $1 trillion investment goes within this 8 year for purely on energy manufacturing. So, and 114 companies around the world, the largest companies like Amazon, Google, Apple, all these companies are investing on cutting edge technologies to bring down carbon emission, and they have some targets. 14 companies. So these are already drafted in the document. If you go elaborated on the Paris Agreement, so you can anytime reach 14 companies which already signed up, and you can present you an idea, and if they like it, you can get it forward. I was participated one of those. Last year, I was part of World Resource Institute's program called Land Accelerator. This happens in entire South Asia. So it's the main happened in Delhi. So this entire program was invested by IKEA Foundation, the largest furniture manufacturing company in the world. They are cutting down huge amount of trees in Africa and multiple part of the world. So as an impact maker, so as a damage maker, they want to compensate that issues by come up with alternative mechanism, alternative wood mechanism, alternative designing mechanism, energy less cost reduction mechanisms. So they investing on these accelerators and startups to come up with solution which they already make as a impact, they already make as a damage. So IKEA is one of those examples, but you have more than 114 billion multi-billion dollar companies who already signed up for this. So those are opportunities you can think about. So finally, 20 countries, the G20 countries, they've come up into a negotiation where they're going double green energy R&Ds. So whatever the energy production you come up with, all these G20 countries, highest priority going towards energy production, and they're ready to invest billions of trillions of dollars into it. So these are some of the opportunities in the global perspective where you can think, where you can fit in, and how big is the scale you can looking for. So the only thing you're supposed to have here, a measurement, how you creating your impact and how you quantifying that impact and presenting it to the right audience. It could be in YGC, you are presenting to 5-member panel and you are taking their attention. Financial management and models are one thing. Definitely that will be very early stage. You guys just presenting in a paper concept. So that will be more forecasting. But the impact, if you can quantify that, that really can be, because it's qualitative numbers. You can say we are come up with a solution which can serve 1 million people. So that's a qualifiable number only. So the quantifying measurements are very rare in impact, because you don't, there is a direct and indirect impact into it. So you might clean up 1 tons of plastic from ocean floor through a machine. That can create a huge impact towards a different aspect. It can improve a lifestyle of an entire coastal region ecosystem. It could improve the life form in coral reef improvement. It can improve the tourism industry. So the impact, it's direct and indirect. So the impact measurement is ultimately important. So I just want to give you one company called Business Call to Action. Everyone please search for it, businesscalltoaction.org. This is a UNDP initiative where it will give you a one pager about your impact measurement. You just want to fill a small questionnaire, completely free, developed by UNDP, already accepted by entire UN based SDG goal promoters. So it will produce you, end of the day, it will produce you a one pager based on your concept of your startup and how much impact you are creating in different ecosystem, what kind of mitigation you have come up with. It will give you score and presentable format of one pages. It's highly important for an investor to invest on a company based on a one pager. Usually it will be financial oriented. Only different for startups which is coming on green tech industry, you will have this impact oriented measurement through the business call to action page. So that's highly important. I will drop you the links in the chat box, but it's highly important how you measure your impact. So there are globally, you can looking for accelerators, which is investing. And the most important part of green tech investors, they will wait. They won't looking for dividends, or they won't looking for quick returns like the commercial venture capitalists. They will wait until it's making real impact, because they equally waiting that the impact and the financial aspect of it. So they are not looking for the return quickly. Definitely they will looking for an investment, investment return, but they are valuing your impact also as a addition to it. So there are multiple business model you can think about. Grants, one of those areas. Large blue chip companies and PLC companies have an allocation towards CSR. So you can apply for those areas and you can have a B2B business model. So you can have a separate business model where you're creating impact without involving in any business operation or consumers end. But this impact can be present to a large organizations. It could be in a non-government, government, where you can get easy access for sustainability aspect for long term. So you definitely need to follow on and need to work on your reading skills and follow-up skills, where you need to think about what are the opportunities available in World Resource Institute, all the NGOs, Oxfam to GIZ to everything, and what are the areas you can looking forward to, and what are the countries who are looking to work with in Asia, ADB, Asian Development Bank. So what are the areas they're investing on? So these are some of the key points where you can figure out which area has highest potential to find out my early adopters in my region. So that can be replicated in all these areas. So as a summary, I just want to give you few things. So whatever you do, think about a global perspective, creating an impact by considering the 20 million people in Sri Lanka, it means nothing. So think something global if you want to become a green tech entrepreneur. Second thing, green tech, it's exactly the same as other startups. You need to eat end of the day. You're supposed to have a very strong business model, which is streaming money into your business continuously, make your company sustainable and scaling up. At the same time, you have a different value for the company, which comes from the impact side of it. You always keep impact and financials parallelly. If one lose, you lose your credibility on as a social entrepreneur, or you lose your credibility as at least an entrepreneur. So you need to balance those things. Third thing, you're supposed to have a brighter knowledge on what's happening globally because it's a global context. So you need to have an idea about what's happened on Paris Agreement recently in terms of climate change and ecosystem and biodiversity environment, and what is SDG for 2030 by UN, and what are the measurements they are following. Always keep two measurements, one for your financial aspect, one for your impact measurements. So with this, and you will have additional satisfaction by fixing the world. Happy to answer any of your questions if you have. Agarnaka, over to you. Agarnaka, are you online? Feel free to ask any questions if you have. We will try to help you out in our best because myself, I'm doing a company on green tech environment and apply for part of many global entrepreneurship competitions and won awards internationally. And we have very well-known entrepreneur from North who running a company for more than a decade on renewable energy. So we know the context of what's happening in the local context and how you can expand your business on green tech. And probably I can give you some input. What are the pathways you can access a global point of view? Yes, Sabarnaga, I can take it forward for the question and answers. Yeah.
Yeah, participants, if you all have any questions, please raise your hand so we can enable your audio to speak. Meantime, you can also post your questions on the chat. Miller, looks like there are no questions. So I think we are good to wind up in that case. Anything that you all would like to say?
Exactly. So I just dropped one thing, Abarnaka, I just dropped the impact measurement links on the chat box. So anyone can use it. It's completely free. It's a global standard measurements for impact. It produces you a one pager end of the day, so that you can utilize in any investor presentation, you can add that one page as your impact measurement one page. And where you can, there's a second link I just dropped, which you can utilize for the ideas and the areas the global going towards in terms of the Paris Agreement. So next 8 years, you will be a busy entrepreneur if you are getting to the green tech industry. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, I like to add something. Yeah, if anyone want to be an entrepreneur, the one thing I would like to tell you that it's all need how much you put your effort and how long you preserve it. You can be a successful entrepreneur in any idea with you. So there are a lot of opportunities out there, especially in green tech area, and there are a lot of, as Miller said, there are a lot of funds available in globally. If you can come up with a good idea or good business model, it's a very good opportunity for you to grab those funding, and you can be a global entrepreneur in this green tech environment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mila and Ramesh, for that very insightful presentation. You all spotted, or you all, in fact, gave a lot of pointers to spot how to spot opportunities in this field, and I'm sure it will be very much helpful for our listeners today. Once again, thank you so much for both of you for volunteering your time and being here today to give this presentation, and we look forward to working with you in the future too. Thank you for the participants for joining this session, and I hope that you all were able to gather a lot of information today, and this will be useful for you to work on, pick a problem and work on for the next few years. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice time. Bye-bye.